Good day to you, gentle person from the internet, and thank you for joining me as we have a look at the Omega Reach. And this is a very, very interesting game that I'm really quite excited to show. This is a game made for blind gamers. It was for the Games for Blind Gamers 5 Jam, and it is therefore a game really based around, I suppose the best way to talk about it is like texture and sound, and kind of interesting designs, and the idea of movement in a virtual space but without visual references. It's absolutely fascinating. I am very interested by it, and like I said, quite excited to show it off. And I do heartily recommend that you come and take a look. The link is in the description. But let's just delve in together, because it is an interesting experience to get into. So right, first of all, sounds. I've got the sounds up quite high coming through to the video. I hope. I don't know. It's tricky to balance sounds in a video, so apologies in advance if some of the sounds become overwhelming. But let me click to interact, and we'll see exactly what the sounds feel like. So this is the Omega Reach. I did try it on Firefox. It did not work on Firefox. It refused to load. I am on Linux, so that's probably at least a chunk of the reason. But devs, if you are watching, check it out in Firefox and Linux if you have the resources to have a look at that. It doesn't seem to be working there. I am now on Chrome, and it appears to be working fine. I'm assuming it's working in the way it's supposed to work. But that's why there's a continue button there, which you don't want to do. Let's have a quick look at the settings. So you have your input preferences, which is mouse front hemisphere, gamepad fill sphere, and keyboard fixed points. Those are interesting, and I think we might learn a little bit more about exactly what that means in a minute. We have some volume controls and vibration strength. I don't have anything that vibrates, so that's not going to help me much. Gamepad dead zone. Well, I don't have a gamepad, so that's irrelevant. Enable hold interactions are off, and enable graphics are on. I'm guessing hold interactions is where you have to click and hold onto something to make it work, rather than just clicking on something. So that's basically reducing control sensitivity, I guess. It's an interesting update to work with there. Anyway, so that's the settings. Obviously high quality settings, very impressive. Bravo devs. Let's start a new collection. I don't know if the tutorial is going to run with it. Let's see if we fire the tutorial off again. Starting a new collection will delete your progress, so yes, we're going to hopefully delete the progress and hopefully trigger the tutorial again. Right, let us read through the introduction. Wake up. You stir from your nap at the center of time. A familiar warmth fills you as you flex your senses. Has it already been a quadrillion years? How much of this is going to explain the story, I wonder. Look around. You're in the atrium. It connects the various rooms of the Omega Conservatory. From this vantage, everything seems to happen all at once through the above skylight. Perhaps you might dwell a bit longer to ponder its wonder. Now, I didn't click fall back to sleep, so I'm curious to see what this button does. Oh, I snapped out of it before. No, you are the curator. With the auction house cleared and the cycle soon ending, the gallery sits criminally empty. It would be best for you to preserve as much as you can by using the reach. So it's kind of a fake choice. We continue or we continue. It's just how much we get yelled at. So let's get to work. Right, we have the tutorial exit. So, tutorial moving. Use the arrow keys to navigate the conservatory. Find your way to the reach to fulfill your duties. So arrow keys to move around, and space is kind of the button to then use controls. Obviously we can click it with the mouse, but I'm going to try and use the keyboard more. So regain control. So here we are in the atrium at the center of time. If you have a look on the bottom right, you can see that we can move forward, backwards, left or right with the arrow keys. Then there is a menu button and a grayed out examine button. And the space that kind of we work in is defined by these dots, these points of existence, I suppose, of data. I suppose it's the way it's supposed to represent it. It is a fascinating form of representation. It's the idea that things are vaguely outlined rather than definitive shapes. And I suppose that is a way to kind of experience low vision, I suppose, where you're aware of the world around you through something other than vision. It's quite a paradigm shift for those of us who are vision dominant, and this game is a very, very interesting exercise in experiencing that. I'm also going to try and hit F11 to full screen it a bit. Alright, we can click on the menu, and the menu is just, I think it auto-saves when you click on the menu, and then you can see the settings and the return to title button. So let's just resume. Right, so we need to find the reach, is what the tutorial told us to do. So let's go forward, let's go upwards. We have found the reach. It's the Omega Reach. It's capable of feats only a telescope dreams, and fabled for its breakings of fourth ceilings. You enter the enclosure for what can only be described as a retractable hand, one that has started and ended intergalactic wars. Yeah, so we have a powerful device to reach into, I suppose, time and space. Really is what we're doing here. We're reaching into time and space, and we're collecting things for the conservatory. So let's approach the device. Select input device. We can either use 2 joysticks or a trackball or an array of keys. A trackball would be very interesting for this. But let's use an array of keys because I have a keyboard and mouse, so that's what we have access to it. Select input preference. To confirm your choices at the console, you hold for a second or reach it immediately. Let's do it immediately to speed things up. Yet it's offline. You recall there being a specific sequence to make it stir. It's somewhere in that waking memory of yours. You reach towards the console and try something. Press one or more keys to interact. Each key points to a location. Locate the sweet spot using audio and visual cues to proceed. Press Enter or spacebar to skip the current interaction. You will not be penalized for doing so. So we are trying to use keys. As you can see, there's different... Oh, the D key apparently did it. So you can press different keys and kind of have these little, I suppose, points of interaction in the space. And we'll see more of that a little bit later. But yeah, that was, I suppose, a little test, a little tutorial of interacting with the space around us with these points of access. Ended a little bit abruptly, so yeah, I don't know if there was actually a puzzle or something there that we were aiming for. Also, the problem is, as a sighted person, my hearing is nowhere near as sensitive as someone who relies on hearing to interpret the world around them to the extent that a blind person would do. So yeah, this game actually comes with a challenge mode for us sighted gamers, or an extra challenge difficulty, as it were. Anyway, the device is online. The device thrums back to life, returning vigorously to its preferred state. And lo, its console glows with the promise of your recurring fate. I don't know why we rhymed that, but we did. Tutorial, the reach. Press the up arrow to extend the reach to its next zoom level. You may press the down arrow to zoom out from any level at any time. Zoom in to proceed. Okay, so this is the reach. We are beyond the end of time, and I guess this box is all that which is within time, being represented for us as a pinkish red box with dots in it. And we can press the forward arrow to get through into kind of time, I guess, or the back arrow to return to the atrium and the other things there. So let's zoom into the reach. It's full of galaxies. They resolve from the void as you reach into the horizon. First as infrared blobs before more recognizable disks. Although the options are staggeringly numerous, you trust its lack of incorrect choices. And we can reach deeper. Tutorial, the horizon. Interact to reach towards a random galaxy upon the horizon. You will zoom in automatically to any new galaxies that you reach. Regain control. So this is kind of, we are now within the horizon, as it likes to call it. So within this kind of blob of space-time, I think is really what it's meant to represent. And there are a massive number of galaxies that we can, if we reach forward, we can reach into one of these random galaxies. Now it's not going forward with the arrow key, it's the space bar to click the reach button. So we're going to just reach randomly. Just keep zooming. You repeat this mantra like that fish from the earthen picture. Though not as aloof, this confluence of zooms might consume you as profusely. Reach deeper. So yeah, for some reason, earthen has a special place in this, and whoever we are controlling this reach device, the curator as we are, we seem to regard Earth as something important. I don't know. It is, I suppose, really the only critique that I have with this is because we are humans making a game, we tend to put humans in a significant place within that game, and that's always bugged me slightly, because the game is supposed to be from the perspective from non-human, and I don't know, I refuse to believe that we are that special. So I never really liked the idea of us being treated importantly. Having said that, obviously the game is supposed to give kind of references, anchor points for people to understand the cultural concepts and things here. So sort of using us as an important thing to hook ideas into is obviously very useful, but it still bugs me slightly. But that is very much a personal thing, so not really a critique of the game, but a critique of my perspective of the game. Anyway, galaxies. Galaxies are hosts to countless stars. Interact to reach towards a random star within them. You will zoom in automatically to any new stars that you reach. Not really countless stars. There's billions to trillions, but those are quite countable numbers. Anyway, regain control. Right, so we are looking at 21Z Kappa, 21Z Kappa if you prefer, and elliptical galaxy with unreached stars. And we can reach into the galaxy, or we can go backwards to the horizon, I guess. Let's reach in. Now we are looking at a star within a galaxy, a random star, I suppose. Stars may host complex systems of planets and moons, some with legendary instruments to recover. And that's kind of what we're doing here. We're recovering, I suppose, little bits of information about each star, and then these instruments. And instruments are strange things that we then interact with at some point. And we're at the edge of our limited understanding there. So yeah, let's find an instrument we can see. We are looking at 21Z Kappa 9756, which is an unreached star that we are looking at. Let's reach into the star. And now, things have quirks. Some objects have interesting properties to be grazed. Interact to reveal their quirks. Beware that some quirks are rarer than others. Some stars may have planets orbiting around them. Continue zooming to examine their planets closer. So, we have the star, Kappa 9756, which is a red supergiant. It has one planet, and it has an unexamined quirk. So if we examine it, we find out about the quirk. It is highly metallic. So it is a supergiant that's highly metallic. I wonder if that's even possible. Interesting. Anyway, so we have this, and then we can press the forward key to zoom in to the star and presumably have a look at one of its one planet. So now we're at the planets level. Planets can also be hosts to interesting systems. Interact to reveal more details about a planet. So we haven't yet reached the planet. We've just kind of seen that there is one. So let's reach in. This planet has moons. Some planets may have moons orbiting around them. Continue zooming to examine their moons closer. So we are looking at the planet, which is a Terran planet. Oh, it was the star that's highly metallic, and there's a supergiant. Interesting idea. Anyway, so that wasn't the planet, it was the star. We are now looking at the planet. We can examine the planet because it also has an unexamined quirk, and it is terraformed. It is a Terran-style planet, so Earth-like, with the water and reasonable temperature gradients and things like that. And it has one moon. I mean, this may actually be Earth. It is planet B of 21Z Kappa 9756, so we have an identifier for it. And we can zoom in again to have a look at the moon. Moons live at the unfortunate edge of your reach. Interact to reveal more details about a moon. So we can't zoom in any further than the moon, but that's quite reasonable, I think. So let's reach the moon. Instruments. Some objects have the artifacts you need. Interact to recover this instrument for the gallery. So this moon doesn't have any quirks, but it does have an unrecovered instrument, so we recover it. It sings. You finally reach the treasure you seek. Its fanfare recedes into the telescopic esophagus for its analysis by your hand. By zooming out to the gallery, you might reveal the truths that you could never reach. Okay, so we have zoomed all the way into a moon. We have completed the investigation. We have recovered an instrument, and we can go all the way backwards to our gallery. So galaxy, okay, on the way backwards we reach our galaxies level. You may now interact with the galaxies at any time to reach new stars within them. So we have reached one star, and we can reach again to find another random star, but we don't want to do that. We want to keep going backwards. And the horizon, you may now interact with the horizon at any time to reach new galaxies from it. So same thing, we can click reach at any time to find a new galaxy. But if I go forwards, I think we go into the galaxy we're currently looking at. So we can just go forwards until we, I suppose, complete a galaxy, or we can use reach to go to a different galaxy. I don't know if we can return to a previous galaxy again. I think we can use left and right to scroll between galaxies, so we can come back to this galaxy if we want to. Not that there's anything left within it to, well, yeah, we can come back to the star as well, but that star is done with. But anyway, we'll come back and have a look at that in a moment. So now we are back at the reach. You may now interact with the reach at any time to power it off and on. There's no reason to do so, but I'll allow it. So this is our ability to look at space-time. We can turn it off if we want to. If we examine it, we turn it offline. The device whines unhappily as it retracts back into the conservatory. You're uncertain of your motives, but you welcome this modicum of silence. So we can then turn it back on again. Doesn't seem to do anything, but that's fine. So don't examine it because you turned it off. It's weird. And now we are here back at the atrium. You may now receive notifications about other rooms from the atrium. For instance, that instrument you recovered has just arrived in the gallery. Go there to proceed. So we are here at the atrium. It is to go forwards, to go to the reach and start looking at stars and things again. If we go left, we go to the lobby. Is anybody there? Even when it's accepting visitors, finding a conversation in the lobby is rare. At least the earthen wood adorning the ceiling is always an alluring appeal. You could recall every detail of the cycle it was installed. So we're supposed to have a wooden roof in here, I guess. But it's the lobby. Sometimes people arrive and leave me money, which is quite nice. Currently it's closed to visitors, but it will open at some point. So we're back at the atrium. If we go to the right, be back in 5. We are at the shop. You scan the shop for its persnickety keeper. It's unclear where they might find a proper meal this late, but their determination has that stubborn reputation. Truthfully, you'd rather grab an earthen burger within the reach. So there's nobody here in the shop yet. He's out for lunch. But they will return and we'll be able to buy things at some point, just more artifacts, I suppose. We are in the atrium. It is telling us there is a new instrument, which is in the gallery, which is backwards. So here we are in the gallery, and we have our first and only instrument at the moment. Let's learn about instruments. They're your earthen bread and butter, what keeps the conservatory's lights on. Interact to reveal more details about an instrument. So we can reveal the instrument. Appraisal. Some instruments have quirks as well. Continue interacting to fully appraise an instrument. We can examine it because it has an unexamined quirk. The instrument is called the Rhapsody of 9756. That was the star that we found it on, I suppose. It's a common instrument. Performing. Instruments can be freely played once they are fully appraised. Explore and enjoy the unique textures at your own pace. Dislike anything or just need credits for the shop? Press Enter or Spacebar to sell any instrument. You will be prompted to confirm your choice. Congratulations, the Omega Conservatory is now open to visitors. The gallery must have an appraised instrument in it for it to remain open. So we can now have visitors coming and looking at our instruments through the lobby, I suppose. And yeah, we can mess with the instruments, and that's really where the gameplay kind of leads us to. So we can, if we look at our controls, we can sell it, we can leave the gallery and go back to the atrium. We can't move around the gallery yet because we have no other instruments in it yet, otherwise we'd be able to go left and right to look at all the instruments we collect. We can see the name of the instrument here, Rhapsody. We have completed the examination of the instrument, that's what complete means. The quirk is that the instrument is stolen, which I don't quite understand, but that's fine. And it's worth 22 of whatever currency we're using out here in the conservatory, credits, I guess. So we can sell it if we want, but we can also look at it. So if I left click and drag, it does this sort of thing where it makes a noise depending on where you are in its space. And you kind of can explore the audio texture of it, is I guess what it's describing. I don't know if this also generates vibrations if you have a vibration valid controller, and you could use it to look around at it. If you right click, it has kind of the opposite. It sort of goes backwards, it goes in inverse, so you can feel the texture in the other direction, I suppose. And you can press keys on the keyboard to try different things. And yeah, this is exploring a virtual object and giving it kind of space and texture through the mediums of sound, and I'm assuming vibrations. If I had a vibrating controller, I would love to try it out. And that's kind of as far as I understand what this game is about. It's about collecting these objects through different ways and methods and things like that, trying to find really interesting ones and then exploring them through whatever senses you can bring to explore them with. I mean, visually this looks quite interesting. It's a kind of a strange lumpy shape comprised of dots that's slowly rotating, and you can, yeah, so there's multiple ways you can explore it, not just through sight, and that is why this game is so interesting, so fascinating. Right, so we have left the gallery, we're going back into the atrium. It says, "This is the life. You've remembered all of the basics for success this cycle. You may recall more later, but until then, reach for the stars, gather their instruments, and curate the best collection in the universe." So that's kind of our meta goal, as we are a gallery owner or conservatory owner. We're collecting instruments for people to come and have a look at. I suppose visitors will give us more money depending on the more instruments that we have. I don't know. So there's always that kind of meta goal of making money, but I don't like that because it is one of the plagues that is afflicting our earthen existence, to use the game's phrasing here. So yeah, I'm more about building a nice collection, and the money, I think, should be where this game goes. Anyway, nevertheless, okay, there's still nobody in the shop, so let's go back in. Alright, so we are done with this red supergiant. It only had one planet. So let's reach for another star. So we're back at the galaxy level, Kappa elliptical galaxy. I'm guessing all these names and things are randomly generated. Let's reach for another star. You can revisit any star at any time, so we've still got some tutorial elements in there. Press right arrow and left arrow to navigate between the stars you've reached within this galaxy. So yeah, so we have a kind of a tree order of things that we can access. For example, we can go back to Kappa 9756, which we've finished looking at, by pressing the right key, or we can go left to this new star that we've just reached, and those are the only two that we have in our selection of reach targets so far. So let's reach this new star, Kappa D9G8, 20 Kappa. So it is a neutron star, and it has an unexamined quirk and one planet, so let's examine it. It's highly magnetic, a magnetic neutron star. Interesting. So let's zoom in, and we can have a look at this planet around a neutron star. No quirks, it's a desert planet with a little polar ice cap for some reason, and it has 5 moons. So let's zoom in. Some planets have multiple moons to examine. Press right arrow and left arrow to navigate between the moons around this planet. So we can have a look at the first moon, B2. It has 2 quirks and an unrecovered instrument. So we can examine the first quirk, which is dust storms, second quirk, which is a recent impact, and an unrecovered instrument that we can recover. So that goes back to the gallery. And we can look at the next moon. We can reach it. It only has 1 quirk, which is geological activity. And we can kind of examine the moon in the weird vibrational way as well, get the shape of it and the look of it. We have a third moon, reach it, 2 unexamined quirks, has geological activity and precious minerals. And we can examine it, feel it around, reach it. Unrecovered instrument, nice, we can bring an instrument back. It's an Arctic moon, so a little frozen rock. We have a rocky moon that has nothing particularly instrument. It's just a ball of rock in space. And that's all of the moons. And now we can zoom back out. There weren't any more planets. There weren't any more stars. Well, there are more stars, so we can go and have a look at another star if we want to. But we can zoom back out to the galaxy, which tells us we have unreached stars. There are many unreached galaxies. And assuming this is all sort of procedurally generated, there is an infinite number of shapes and things that we can play with and explore. And I guess that's what the kind of the game is about, really, is exploring shapes and things. Right, something reeks. That must be coming from the lobby. The airlock leaks its electrostatic smell as you brace for its typical company. So if we head across to the lobby, perfect timing. It appears you missed some visitors while you were busy within the reach. Beyond the usual indicators like dust on the doormat or missing pencils, when left, their generous donations are the most enticing. So we got money. Donations will accumulate in the lobby as you explore the universe. Return here to collect them often. We collected 29 credits and donations from the lobby. Thank you. So yeah, so this is just a way of money to slowly trickle into this place while we're busy, and that's nice. You may now check your credits from the atrium. These are needed to purchase instruments from the shop. So we have 79 credits and new instruments in the gallery. We'll have a look at the moment, but let's go have a look at the shop. Okay, the shop is still out for lunch, so let's go look at our new instruments. The gallery can hold many instruments. Press right arrow and left arrow to navigate between the instruments you've collected. So we have an unrevealed instrument, the Song of D9G9. So we'll reveal it. No quirks, and it's just worth 17 credits. And it sounds like that, I guess. Have a look at. Okay, Rhapsody is the one we've already looked at, so let's go right. Requiem of D9G8, let's reveal it. Oh, it has 2 quirks, and it sounds like that. It is smuggled, and it is very fine condition. It's a rare instrument. It's worth 100 credits. So the sounds actually change as we reveal the quirks. Interesting. Could actually play this. Those are different tones, different notes. Nice. Oh, okay, so those are the only ones we have. So we have Rhapsody, our original, we have the Song, and we have the Requiem. Okay, do we have the shop yet? Nope. If we try and sell an instrument, let's try sell this one and see what happens. Yes, we wish to sell it. We'll get 17 credits for it. Alright. Did that do anything yet? No, we haven't yet unlocked the shop. Something we do is unlocks the shop, so let's go do another star. Why not? Alright, so we have to go back to the galaxy level. We need to reach. We have an unreached star, so let's reach it. K5K2. It's a blue hypergiant, but has no planets. No, nothing to examine. Alright, so the hypergiant has eaten all of its immediate sort of flock, as it were. Alright, so let us reach for a new star. Kappa 01. It is a white dwarf with an unexamined quirk and 7 planets. Wow, there's lots here. So it's highly magnetic, so it's another highly magnetic one. Let's zoom in and look at the planets. Some stars have multiple planets to examine. Press right arrow and left arrow to navigate between the planets around the star. So, Kappa 01b is a planet. Doesn't look like it's got any moons, but it does have 2 quirks, greenhouse gases and tectonic plates. And that's what it sounds like. Kappa 01c, 1 moon and an unexamined quirk. Let's examine the quirk. Polar ice. Let's look at the moon. Right, unexamined quirk, which is low density, and an unrecovered instrument. Great, so we've got another instrument out of him. We had a look at the 1 moon. I think it's all complete. Yeah. Kappa 01d, 3 moons, unexamined quirks. So has a rocky core and a retrograde spin. Let's check out the moons. First moon only has a quirk, low density. Second moon has a quirk, fungal life on the moon. Interesting. This one also only has 2 quirks, low density and floral life. Alright, so quite life-bearing moons here. We've had a look at all the moons. That was D. Let's have a look at E. Reach in. Okay, nothing interesting there, just a rocky planet. Let's have a look at F. 3 moons, an unexamined quirk, and the planet actually has an instrument. So it's a cratered planet. And we've recovered the instrument. We'll have a look at that. But let's check out the moons. Acid moon is complete. Unreached moon, unexamined quirk. It has ancient ruins. Interesting. Recovered the instrument. Actually, I want to go back and see. Okay, it just goes whoa, whoa, whoa. This is a high density planet. Slows down the frequency, I suppose. Well, that's interesting. Alright, done with that. Have we looked at all the moons? Okay. And G, I think this might be the last of the planets. Ice giant, 1 moon. So let's zoom in and reach the moon. Just has 2 quirks, weak magnetic field and heavy water. Alright. Oh, there's 1 more planet. Acid ocean, low density, no moons. Alright, so that's all the planets on the star. So we have completed everything. Let's head back to our atrium. Oh, new donations and new instruments. Let's get the donations. Alright, thanks visitors. The eagle has landed. The delicious aromatics manifesting their profits waft in from the shop. They typically have something delightful to share despite your many philosophical snares. Let's go check it out. We have 168 credits to spend. Tutorial, the shop. You enter the shop, but immediately... Question for you. Is this earthen hot dog a sandwich? They gesticulate with it forcefully in your direction. It's open-faced, of mammal sausage and seed bread, and rather oblong, except for the generous bite drawn from the end. So, is a hot dog a sandwich? Definitely, absolutely not, or it depends. I am going to say definitely. Are you reaching my wits? They gulp another bite and then sputter. You should come with me and say that to their faces. But that's the least you'd need to justify to the earthlings, and you know where they stand about the reach. Either it's for the thrills, for the paycheck, it's for the art, it's for the future. It's all meaningless anyways. I'm going to say it's for the art. Oh, whoops. I accidentally went back past what he said in response. Never mind, you guys will have to come and have a look and see what he says. I found this for you. You will get sweetened vegetable juice for 116 credits. Yeah, I'll buy it. Nice choice. The shopkeeper disappears once more through the cellar door for their mandated lunch break, so he's gone off again. The shopkeeper will periodically return with the fruits of their breaks. Visit the shop often to consider their offerings for your collection. And now something else that's interesting from the shop is that if we take a step backwards, we go into the cellar. Who put this earthen labyrinth here? Your surprise is genuine as mine, so you're on your own in this maze. My best advice is to turn away or explore it at your own space. So we have a maze down here that we can explore for some reason. We're at the cellar entrance. That's one east. Alright, well, we're not going to look at that too much. I'm sure that'll be something that you guys can come and take a look at. Right, unrevealed instrument, reveal, and it has quirks, which are acoustic, upright, autographed, and edible, and it's worth 188 credits. So this is a legendary instrument that is very, very popular. Very interesting to explore with its strange shapes. And that's it. That is all the gameplay I'm going to show, and I'm going to leave you guys to come and have a look at this, especially if you are sighting impaired and have more interesting controls to interact with the world. You might find this a lot more exciting to interact with than I do. I find it very exciting, but I mean, I feel like I'm missing a whole element of vibrational controls and things, and this would be particularly interesting in some kind of tactile 3D space generation, with those like kind of tactile gloves and a VR element. So maybe that's where this game is headed. I'm hoping so. That would be incredible. As it is, it's still an extravaganza of ideas and concepts and a different perspective on gaming that I find very, very exciting. So yes, so that is what I'm going to show in terms of gameplay. So if you are just here for the gameplay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like or dislike. If you liked or disliked the video, not the game, go tell the devs about the game. Just tell me if the video, and leave a comment telling me why you liked or disliked it, so I get better at making videos for you. Because if you don't give me feedback, I'll never get any better. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to watch more indie games dumped into your inbox almost every day, pretty much every day. I try to look at a new indie game and share it with you that I find interesting. That's it from that perspective. So if you are just here for the gameplay, thank you for watching. I don't really have much critique for this because it's something that I don't really feel qualified to even offer too much critique with. My vision is bad, but not bad enough that this is aimed at me particularly. I suppose if I do have a critique, it's I don't really understand. I found the controls difficult to understand. I didn't understand very quickly what the hell was going on and what I was looking at and things like that. So I think the tutorial needs more contextual information. That would be my complaint. Maybe for someone exploring it with different senses, this is a lot more understandable, a lot quicker. But I think more guidance into the game would be really what this is missing. It's more ideas of what is going on and what the goal is, what the meta idea is. More explanation of the lore, I suppose, is really what I'm missing here. I'm missing that context to step into the rest of the game and the experience from. You need that starting point, that initial hook, to somewhere solid to put your feet, so you know what is happening. And I think that was missing. So if I do have one critique, if I do have one recommendation, it's just get better at taking the player by the hand and leading them into the space that you've created. And I think a lot of games actually fail there. It is something that a lot of games are missing, and especially as this is a whole new space, a whole new plane of experience, what's trying to be for the vast majority of gamers. I think this needs that even more. You really, really need to guide potential players in as much as possible. And that's it. That's all I have to offer. That is all I want to show you guys. I hope this was interesting. I hope you liked it. I hope you come and play this and enjoy this experience, because the link will be in the description. And I hope to see you in the next video. So thank you for watching, and have a good day. Goodbye.